Are you worth your salt? That's one of the many phrases that have come from the importance that humans as a whole have placed on salt throughout history. Today we're going to talk about salt in the carnivore diet and why your salt needs go up as you start the carnivore diet or the ketogenic diet and enter ketosis. So the first reason why your salt needs go up is because salt follows water. When we start the carnivore diet, we're removing foods that cause inflammation, and we're also going into ketosis, and both of those things have water exiting your body. Your salt needs go up because as water exits your body, electrolytes go with it. And so since you're used to having like 5 to 10 pounds more of water in your body, that was a lot more electrolytes that could be dissolved in that water. And so just as we transition onto keto, as we transition onto carnivore, you're going to find that you need salt. I was really surprised at how much salt I needed, even after going from keto to carnivore. So ways that you can tell that you need salt is that if you're feeling foggy, if you're feeling lethargic, and if salt fixes it. So if the answer isn't always more salt, but the answer is usually more salt. And so if you're feeling lethargic on the carnivore diet and you're feeling like brain foggy or just tired, like you could just sit and watch Netflix all day, then that's a good indicator that you might be low on salt. Or if you have a headache, like a dehydration headache, if you feel dehydrated, or honestly, if you feel hungover, it could very well be a salt or an electrolyte issue. So what you want to do is, this is just sea salt. It's this brand, but I buy it in bulk and then I stick it in a Costco container. So I just stick like half a teaspoon in my hand, put that in my mouth, and drink water. And if you drink like a big glass of water after that and you feel better in 10 minutes, that was salt. That was just kind of, you'll know what your body feels like when it needs salt. If that doesn't work, you might be low on potassium, and this is potassium chloride. You can also get just plain potassium chloride powder, which I'll link to down below. This is half salt and half potassium chloride. It's sold as light salt. I think I got this from like Walmart or a regular grocery store. Or it could be magnesium. And this is oral magnesium, but we'll talk about getting magnesium through our skin instead in a little bit. So if salt doesn't fix it, I would go down the list of electrolytes. Usually salt will fix most things, real sea salt, but you just need to make sure you're getting enough, like salting your food to taste when you're losing so much water so quickly. You kind of have to teach your body, just like you had to teach yourself to go into ketosis and be able to thrive in ketosis, and that took about a week. A lot of people find that it takes about a month for their body to figure out how to go from being a carb burner to a fat burner and to regulate their salt and their electrolytes with exercise and with their daily needs. So you might be thinking, like, how can carnivore diet be a natural diet, an okay diet, if you have to take this supplement of salt? And that's where we're going to look at how historically salt has been so important. This is something that people have fought wars over. They've spent their whole life's work finding salt and trading salt. And the word salary comes from salt. The expression worth your salt comes from salt. Be the salt and the light. If you can think of any more of those expressions that have to do with salt, comment down below. I'd love to hear them. But salt has just been, until salt was demonized, when was that, like when we were kids or maybe a little bit before, is salt started being demonized. But it's one of those things, it's like fat, it's something, and it's like red meat, it's something that's so good for us, our body needs it, and we just need to kind of get back to not being afraid of salt and to include it in our diet. And with the carnivore diet, that's something that you're going to want to pay attention to. If you thought carnivore didn't work for you, if you thought that it's something you weren't going to be able to handle, it might have just been your salt. Salt in nature was really a prized mineral, and it was something that people used for preserving. It was something that people used for cooking, for flavoring. It was something that people went to great lengths to go get. But what about things like magnesium and potassium and other minerals? I think a lot of that, and this is just speculation, but I find that when we go to the natural hot springs, my kids are just so calm and so good, and there's so many different minerals in those natural hot springs. And I would think to a lesser extent, people typically got their trace minerals from their drinking water and from bathing in like natural bodies of water, and from walking on the dirt in bare feet, or even just getting dirty. Like, you think of how often we go through entire weeks at a time without even getting any dirt from the ground on us, compared to if we were out in the dirt on like covered wagons, or if we were hunting and gathering in the dirt, in the bushes every day, how much our skin would be touching. And so to mimic that, I've got a super cheap and super easy solution for you. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, so it contains both magnesium and sulfur. And magnesium is the electrolyte that people are getting from, this is magnesium citrate and natural calm. This tends to upset people's digestive system. It's something that, and it has other ingredients. If you can avoid it on the carnivore diet, I would definitely recommend that. So Epsom salt is a great solution. What I do for my kids is I just put it in the tub, like plug up the tub with warm water, add a half a cup of Epsom salt, and they take their bath as normal. I found like I can see the difference, especially my daughter. My daughter, she's my special needs kiddo, the one that I've done the most for. She's like my canary in the coal mine. And so if she hasn't had an Epsom salt bath 3 times a week, then I can see by the like 3rd night, her sleep is just way out of whack. Like she has trouble falling asleep, she has trouble staying asleep, she doesn't sleep in. So definitely we do absorb magnesium through our skin, and that's something that won't upset your digestive system. And so for adults, because we probably don't have time to take baths every day, what I do is I just plug up the tub, and then I take my shower having that half cup of Epsom salt in the shower. And a lot of times, like, I'm a busy mom, I take like 5-minute showers, and that's still plenty of time. I don't get muscle cramps or something that can come if you're low on magnesium, like eye twitches or not sleeping well. And so that's what we do for magnesium. If you don't have a tub shower combo, you can put like a big, just anything that's big enough to put your feet in that would hold water, and just do that. And yeah, the shower water will run into it and it'll run right over, but enough of that will absorb through your feet that it's a super quick addition to your morning shower that won't take up extra time. It's super cheap, and it gets you that magnesium and that sulfur in a great amount. Like I kind of feel like since it's going through our skin instead of going through our digestive system, our skin's kind of pulling the amount that it needs of magnesium and sulfur more than if we're flooding our digestive system with it. The last thing I want to talk about with salt is that a lot of times when we're having a hard time kicking dairy, it could be that we're actually craving salt. So a lot of like salted butter or cheese has a lot of salt in it. If those are something that you find yourself going to over and over again and you're trying to do a dairy-free trial, you might just try upping your salt and see if your body's really trying to just get the salt out of it. I found that a lot with me with butter, is when I think I want butter on something, if I just sprinkle salt on it, then that's the same thing. And I'm perfectly satisfied with that. So that's what you need to know about salt on the carnivore diet. If you want to click over there, I have another video for you about the carnivore diet. I'm seeing success with it. I love it. I want you to see the same benefits, and I think salt will really help. So I will see you back soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.